I like that. And as you guys saw, this was very well packaged. This is the least expensive bull bar that you can get for the Frontier that I saw on Amazon. And the reason why I wanted to go with this one, because I'm probably going to modify this for some lights. And I might take this bottom piece off, I don't know. And I saw how this could easily be removed. So let's see how easy this thing is to mount. It should be pretty darn easy. And it should actually make this thing look pretty aggressive up front. So guys, before we do the install, I want to go over a couple of things because it's been a little while since I ordered this, and after opening it up, I was blown away with the packaging. And now that I take a closer look, I am blown away with the quality and just the look of this. I think this, out of all the other ones I was looking at, has one of the nicer looks, and it's the least expensive one. So very nice heavy duty texture. The metal seems very sturdy. Doesn't seem like it's going to corrode because they really coated this thing. You'd have to really scratch it for anything to probably happen. And like I said, this looks like it's fully removable if you don't want this plate on here and just have a standard bull bar. And when I placed it up against the car where it's going to go, I'm like 99% sure we're not going to be blocking any sensors. It's not going to be obnoxious. It's going to just kind of sleekly go along here. And the installation looks very simple. Everything was packaged, like I said, very nicely. It's all tied together here. And the instructions have very great photos. So it looks like it's gonna be a pretty straightforward thing, especially since we have the Pro X, which doesn't have that air dam thing, or they call it a splash guard or air dam, that goes along the bottom that you do have to remove if installing this, which honestly, it would look like a more aggressive truck anyways. But we get to keep our tow hooks, which is great too. So the way that I see in this instruction manual that we're gonna have to attach it is, and it comes with new bolts, but you take your tow hook bolts out, you're gonna sandwich, I guess, this main bracket here when we get to it with the new bolts. And then there are some brackets that attach to the bottom of this, and then it all just goes together. So it should be very straightforward, very simple. Let's dive into it. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the installation. So you definitely want to read through the instructions, but I'm going to go through those right now. The first thing we're going to be doing is removing our tow hook, which we're going to put back in, sandwich in between this plate, and we're going to utilize the new bolts because I'm guessing you need to have longer bolts since you're sandwiching another plate in between there. Now, on the photo here, it shows you the direction that each one of these should go. So this is going to be the one we're going to start on our passenger side in the US, which is your right-hand side. And that is how your plate should look going into there. Now, you cannot slide these plates in with the tow hook. So you have to pull the tow hook, but you have to remove the bolts anyways to be able to sandwich the plate. So I went ahead, I think it was 17 millimeter to get those bolts out. And they are on there tight. So they might even have a Loctite on there because they were real difficult to get off. So go ahead and use like some sort of breaker bar. I was able to get it with a basic socket wrench, so if that's all you have, it will work. Maybe put an extension on it, but just go ahead and take those off. I'll zoom through removing that, sliding the plate in, and putting our new bolts. Now on the bolts, you want to have the bolt, the lock washer, and then the standard washer on top. And these are, according to the instructions, M12 by 125 45 fine thread hex. So if you damage one or lose one or strip it, you can go ahead and pick one of those up. Usually Ace Hardware I find to be the best place. So it does list the exact bolt sizes for each one. So let's go ahead and get that section done first, and then we'll move on to mounting, I think the next step, mounting the brackets onto our bull bar and then putting the bull bar onto the actual vehicle. So like I said, zoom through that. Let's see how that looks. Well, guys, some of you probably noticed right away that I actually have this lower valence thing here, air dam. And I guess on the Pro X, it's on there, and the Pro 4X must not have it because I just went and looked up a bunch of photos, and none of the Pro 4Xs that I saw for sale had this lower piece here. So we got to remove that in order for this to fit properly. You could cut that piece if you wanted to keep that lower piece, and I'm kind of debating that, but I want to try to keep any of the stock stuff I have just in case for the future. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and remove that. It's probably going to give it even more of an aggressive look, and I'm sure some of you are already saying that. So let's pull that off. There's not a whole lot to it. I do know you got to get some screws on the inside here and then just a bunch of bolts. So zoom through that. I'm guessing the bulk of us are going to have to remove this. So might as well show you guys. There is a Phillips head right here that will pull off. And then kind of hidden back here, there's a 10 millimeter. I think, is that one it right there? Yeah, that's the one. Well, actually back here, I think that holds, maybe there's two of them that hold this on. And then it's pretty simple after that. You got a clip right here you can snag with a flathead. Couple clips, a couple 10 millimeters along here, and then same thing on the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and snag this thing off and then we'll move on. Okay, now that we've got that lower valence air dam thing out of the way, we can see our tow hook will actually slide back in correctly, like so. And this piece will actually just connect right up underneath it and be sandwiched. Also, I did not mention this, but the stock bolts look to be a little heavier duty and longer than the ones they provided. So I'm going to actually move our lock washer and regular washer over to these bolts. Get our first one in. And the instructions do say to put your bolts on loosely. So if you don't have the tow hooks, you obviously have to use the provided bolts. And that's probably the main reason why they provide those. So I'm going to go ahead and use the stock ones. I prefer to use what the car came with, so it meets all the specifications that I know were for this car. Well, guys, I kind of like doing this in real time because I learn along with you, and also I'm learning more about this truck. So in the comments, let me know if I'm wrong, but apparently the base models, the non-Pro X or Pro 4X, have a completely different air dam system than a completely different front bumper face. And the Pro 4X does not have this splash guard. So as I read further in the instructions, it says to cut the splash guard, but I like the way it looks bare, so we're gonna keep it this way. Now, if you see here, I've got these pieces up in here. They are mounted loose, and that is so we can make some adjustments. Now, the other thing I noticed on the instructions is it does not tell you how to mount these brackets, and you can see how I did it. So it doesn't tell you if you're supposed to twist it this way or this way, and I ended up mounting them loosely and played around with it and realized this is how it's gonna have to go. So I couldn't find any photo in the instructions or any description on what to do. So this is how it's gonna slide on properly. And then with the rest of your bolts here, like this, you're gonna put your washers. I don't think you use the lock washer. So a washer, and then this is gonna slide on to the outside of this with another washer on the inside. And then we've got a nut. So I'll show you exactly how that goes together, but in the instructions, it does have a diagram showing you exactly how that goes together. So if you need to look at that, that is exactly how all those pieces go. I'm gonna zoom through that. We're gonna play around with making sure everything is level and aligned, and we'll tighten everything up and torque it down. Okay, now we just got to make some adjustments to kind of get it to line up where we want it. We can slide it forward, up, down, to kind of get it lined up right in the center and the height that we want. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So guys, since the Bull Bar is fully installed now, I wanted to show you what the camera view looks like. So the Bull Bar does not affect your visual. It does not affect any of the sensors. Now I do need to test out our cruise control, so I'll put it on the screen now if it affects it while driving. But good news is you can see I put it on and the distance, and it seems to be functioning fully. So my guess is it's gonna work while driving, but I'll put that on the screen in case something does happen. So guys, I got everything aligned and tightened up, and the way that I was able to align this was really just using my fingers as a guide. So the thickness of my fingers on the two ends here away from our bumper or bumper cover, and that meant it would be a little bit tighter here, but I did not want it to touch. I wanted to have a little gap, as you guys can see there, and I think that is the perfect distance. Did the same thing here. I kind of used my fingers to measure, so about 3 fingers thickness on each end and a little bit skinnier in the middle because it does curve in a little bit. And then kind of step back to the middle here and just made sure everything looked like it was centered. And I gotta say, I got it as close as I think I could get it without doing full measurements, but I am more than satisfied with it. And I've got to be honest, when I was first installing it with the angle that I had, I wasn't super happy with the look, but now that I've pulled it out here, I am blown away. It looks so aggressive. It's exactly what I was hoping for and wanting. And this side profile sitting out here just looks absolutely beautiful. Now what I'm gonna do is probably go down to Harbor Freight and get some really cool off-road lights to go right here. And you can see they pre-drilled it, so you could put lights in there. And if you didn't notice, I've got our yellow light covers on our fog lights there. I just did that. That was super easy. And some modifications to our bed here. So I picked up this accessory bar because my truck didn't come with it. And it needed a lot of work, so I ended up painting it and building these little brackets. And the reason why I built these little brackets here is because I was able to install this tonneau cover, and these brackets here covered up any of the little mess you have to make when you cut these. Now that I've fully modified this tonneau cover, because I've done a lot and I've got some videos coming out, you can see there I built a bracket to support it a little bit more, and that allows heavy rain to hit it and just roll right off. And now that I've made all these modifications, I ordered in another tonneau cover because I'm gonna make a video from start to finish with proper measurements, because this one I cut a little too short and I wanna make that new one fit perfectly so I don't have to do as much sealing to get this thing watertight. So that's kind of one of the next videos coming up. That one might be a little bit down the road, but I've got a cargo that I'm gonna be putting on top there, a cargo top. And I'm very excited about that because it's gonna be something I haven't seen yet, and it's gonna be fully customized, but something anybody can do, and hopefully without any drilling. So that's kind of the goal. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I had debated on putting that splash guard back on and just cutting it so that it fits. I'm gonna keep it off for now because I'm gonna put a lift kit on this eventually, and I think it's gonna look really good with that and the lights on the front. But let me know what you think. Would you keep the splash guard on there? Do you like this bully bar? Do you have one that you like better? Just let me know in the comments. Also, like always, don't hesitate to ask questions, even years down the road, how this thing held up, what I like about it. I will let you guys know, and I'll try to do an update down the road as well. You guys have an awesome day, a blessed week, and I'll catch you on the next video.